Good afternoon, and welcome to the show, Lifelong Learners. I'm your talk show host, Terrence Perry, and with me today, I have a special guest, Gary Wilson Sr. He's the CEO of United Standing Prostate Cancer Foundation, and we'll be talking with Gary this evening. I also just want to make an announcement to my producer, Amnon. How's it going, Amnon?
It's going great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
All right, you
Highly
always
favored.
are.
Yeah. So this month coming up is the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. So we want to kind of talk about prostate cancer awareness, and we have Gary Wilson that has a prostate cancer foundation. So Gary, I just want to ask you, how you doing this
I'm
evening?
doing great, Mr. Perry. Great to be here.
Man, first thing I want to say is I appreciate you coming this evening to share the information that you have for us about prostate cancer, and I want to know a little bit about why you started your prostate cancer foundation, United Standing Prostate Cancer Foundation. But before you do, let me let the audience know if they want to call into the show today. If they got any concerns or want to share their voice, they can call in at 919-518-9773. So, Gary, yeah, tell us a little bit about you and why you started the Cancer Foundation.
Yes, sir. I actually was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2013 and ended up having surgery in November of 2013. And after going through the surgery and dealing with the side effects and the life-changing events that took place with my life, it was placed on my heart by the Lord to start this foundation to help educate not only minority men, but also men of all race, and to educate them about the prostate cancer and how to get a physical checkup every year. And also we want to start a research team and make this awareness known because it's a silent killer right now.
Okay. And you had mentioned that you had went through a battle yourself with prostate cancer. So, look, tell me a little bit about that process. How does that process work once you're diagnosed, or is there an examination, a screening that take place?
Well, actually, I was diagnosed by getting a physical every year and having my blood checked. You can have a PSA test done, and also you need to get the digital rectal exam. And with me going to get a physical every year with my regular physician, he recommended that I go and get a biopsy. And once I had the biopsy done, it showed up that it was cancerous. So that led me to either getting a seed implantment or chemo or prostate remove surgery.
Okay, so once you found out early I guess in the early stages.
Well, because I didn't have symptoms, as most people don't have symptoms with the cancer. Most men, 8 out of 10 prostate will swell, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's cancerous. And I didn't have any symptoms. So that's why this disease is so dangerous. There's no symptoms. And that's why it's important to go and get a yearly physical and get examined.
So you mentioned there were three options. That there were three options on the table. Once you found out you could have the surgery, the radiation,
Right.
or the
Right. There's three types of treatments. There's the seed implantment.
tell us a little bit about how that works.
The seed implantment is where they will inject the chemo treatment seeds into your prostate to kill the cancerous cells in your prostate
Okay.
versus doing the full chemo treatment. And then you have the option of the robotic surgery to have your prostate removed.
Now, tell us a little bit about um, the um, the full radiation treatment. If you have,
The radiation is just like any other normal radiation that they treat you with the prostate cancer.
Is it a series of treatments that you have to go through?
Yes.
Radiation treatments?
Right. There's a series of radiation treatments, and I'm not sure of the number exactly. But with that treatment, with both treatments, the seed implant or the radiation, the prostate cancer has a chance of coming back reoccurring. But with the surgery, your prostate is removed, so that eliminates the prostate cancer coming back, period.
Okay. So now, what is the average? I guess the average age of a male. What's the average age of a male that I guess gets a prostate cancer? And I know it varies with, I guess, race, because from what I understand, the African American black male is more likely to get prostate cancer than
Right.
white male species.
For some reason, it's through tests and it's more prominent in the black community, and it's mostly to get checked when you're at age 40. If you have a history in your family, the doctor suggests that you normally get checked around 30, 35 for your prostate, to see if you have the cancer.
Okay. But around the age of 40, that's when you should start getting
Exam.
an exam, yearly exam, and then, well, you get an exam, say at 40. Do you do it now? Do that follows every year after then, or
Every 3 to 5 years is
5
what's
years.
recommended. And when you get tested, it's get the PSA as well as the digital rectal examination.
Tell us a little bit about the PSA examination and, I guess, the rectal, but the difference in those two
Right.
processes.
The PSA is they're checking your blood cells for the cancer, and the digital exam is the rectal examination.
Okay.
And both of them, it's best to get both of them, because sometimes, one may miss the other. And, a lot of men of our culture, they don't like to go and get the digital exam, but, it's no way to get around it. It has to be examined. Your prostate has to be examined.
Okay. So once you found out that you were diagnosed with prostate cancer, and you called it earlier now, that was in 2013. So how are you today since that early diagnosis and the treatment
Right.
that you had?
I am now cancer-free
Okay.
and
Amen.
a survivor, but with the surgery, it does cause incontinence, and there is therapy for that treatment that helps with that. But all in all, your health, my health, I'm cancer-free, and again, it has the long-lasting incontinence. It's really the biggest side effect, and plus the erectile dysfunction.
So now, was that was that something that happens in your family? I mean, were there other males in your generation past that have had prostate cancer, or?
Yes, unfortunately, it was on both sides of my family, and that's why I kept a close look on mine, getting a physical every year. And I recommend all men, you have insurance, to get your regular physical, because not only prostate cancer may not be detected, but there's other problems that may be going on with your health that, without getting a physical, you will never know. So, I encourage everyone, to go and get a regular physical, and especially if you have prostate in your family, prostate cancer in your family.
You were just saying if you have insurance, go do it. What happened to people that don't?
Well, right now, there are some programs in North Carolina that sees patients with no health insurance. Advanced Healthcare is one place here in Wake County. They have a small sliding scale that they do see patients without insurance. So if you don't have insurance, you still can go and get checked.
You got another question, Amna? Okay. So, girl, just to switch gears just a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about your foundation. Your foundation promotes African American men getting checked out, getting that physical.
Right.
And workshops and seminars.
We hold seminars, educational seminars. I've recently teamed up with North Carolina Minority Action Team Awareness. You'll be hearing from them later on in the show. But I've teamed up with those guys, and what we do at United Standing, we do educational seminars. Right now, we're going to be doing a fundraiser event, Black and White Gala, the 24th of September in Raleigh, North Carolina, at the gymnasium at Word of God Gym, to help raise funds to be able to do what we do, because there's a lack of funds right now for this area, and we're doing what we have to do on the groundwork to make sure that people are aware of this disease and to find a cure for it.
Do we have a call? Yes, caller, go ahead.
Mr. Wilson, I was just calling in to tell you that you're doing a great work.
Who are we
Continue to labor.
who are we speaking to?
This is Dr. Portia Rochelle and Minister Joyce Williams.
Okay.
We called to say congratulations on getting the ministry started, and we look forward to supporting you.
Okay, thank you. That is Dr. Reverend Rochelle, which happens to be my sister, president of Raleigh NAACP, and a great friend, Joyce Williams. Thank you guys for calling in. Miss Williams, she's allowing us to have a fundraiser at her beauty salon September the 9th. We're going to be selling grilled chicken plates to raise money. And we're in the process of getting our 501c identification. We have our charitable license, we have a tax ID number, and we're registered with the state. So these things, it takes time and proper paperwork to be able to run a foundation, nonprofit foundation. So these fundraisers that we're doing will allow us to cover the fee for submitting the 1023 form for the 501c.
So you said September the 9th you'll be doing a fundraiser at
Joyce's Beauty Salon. That's 309 Sanford Road.
is Joyce on the line?
3009.
I'm sorry, what's the address?
3009.
All right, is Miss
Sanford
Joyce on the
Road.
is Miss Joyce on the line?
She's present.
How you doing, Joyce?
She's working.
Oh, she's
She's
I'm
good.
doing great.
All right,
I'm doing
what-
great. Hope you are. Doing great. Hope
All
you
right.
are.
We are. We just glad to hear from you, and glad to know that that you will be assisting Gary with that on September the 9th. So we'll look forward to, I guess, hearing more about that. And just want to thank you, and just give us a shout out to your salon. Thanks.
You are so welcome. Anything I can do.
So
Thank
Gary,
you.
tell us a little bit more about that event that's going to happen on September the 9th. Anybody else that want to call into the show, feel free to call in at 919-518-9773. We have Gary Wilson Sr. He's the CEO at United Standing Prostate Cancer Foundation. And you have that event on September the 9th, but also you have an event coming up on September the 24th. So tell us a little bit about each one of those events, starting with the September the 9th.
Right, on September the 9th, again, we'll be selling plates, grilled chicken plates with 2 vegetables, soft drink, dessert for $7 again at Joseph's Salon. And this money is going to help us pay for our 501c. And we have a lady that's going to write grants for us once we have the 501c number, identification. So it takes money to support your community and give back to the community. So we encourage everyone to come out and support us, and that way we can have our grants written and we can go across not only the state of North Carolina but across the country, educating and putting on seminars and even doing free screenings across the country. Again, I've teamed with North Carolina Action Team, Awareness Team, Unknown Awareness Team, Dr. Darks and those guys, great team. And we've talked about building a research team here in North Carolina to actually find a cure for this disease. And what we're going to be doing on September 24th, we have Reverend Thomas Walker. He's a prostate cancer survivor, and he has a book out called Brother to Brother, You Don't Have to Die of Prostate Cancer. He's going to be our keynote speaker. We're going to have a formal dinner, and also we have a jazz band to come out and play some jazz for us at the end of the night, just to get out and have a good time.
Now, did I see that? Was that going to be at the Word of God Church or?
Yes, that's going to be at the Word of God. Dr. Frank Summerfield, they have allowed us to use their gymnasium, and thank them for letting us use the gym. And we're just going to have a awareness fundraiser about prostate cancer.
So Are you going to be putting on the workshops and seminars also during the day?
Well,
Throughout?
at the gala, we're going to start at 6, and we're going to have um, 2 or 3 survivors to give their testimonies.
Okay.
I've asked Dr. Darks to come in and share some knowledge of prostate cancer with his profession, and also we're going to have again keynote speaker Dr. Leroy Thomas Walker. That's going to be the keynote speaker. So, if anyone wants to partner up with a sponsorship or donor, we can get your banner up. We may be able to sit you out in the lobby, to put your business on display, to help us out.
So now this is in Raleigh, North Carolina, on September the 24th at the Word of God Church.
At that gymnasium, it's
At the
behind the
gymnasium.
church. Yes, sir.
And that's going to be from 6 until
10:30.
10:30. So how many expected? You said it's going to be at the gymnasium. That's going to seem like it's going to be a pretty big location. What's the expected amount of, I guess, turnout that you all expect?
We are looking for at least 200 to 350 people.
Wow.
We have tickets on Eventbrite, as well as you can contact me at 919-240-1425 for tickets. And also, if you go on our website, we have a website. If you go through our Facebook page, United Standing Prostate Cancer, our Facebook link is on that page, and you can see our board of directors and what we're doing, and our board of directors will have tickets as well.
Okay. Now, are they going to have tickets at the salon, the two women we just spoke with? Will they have tickets there, or do we have to go on?
You can go to
Eventbrite?
Eventbrite or contact me, or you can pay at the door.
Okay, so you can pay at the door. Contact Gary Wilson. Can you give them your email and phone them again of just how to get in contact with you?
Yes, my telephone number is 919-240-1425, and our email is unitedstanding635@gmail.com, and you can reach us there for ticket information. And the tickets are $25 a piece.
Okay, and this will be the first annual Prostate Cancer Awareness Black and White Gala that you are hosting and putting on.
Yes, this will be the first one, and we are looking to do this every year in the month of September, because it is the Prostate Awareness Month, and we're looking to grow bigger and bigger each year.
So let me ask you now. You said the Black and White Gala is this tux, or can you wear suits, or I mean how formal do you
You
have to be?
can wear tux, suits. It doesn't matter. You can just wear a two-piece that's matching black or
Black
white.
and white.
The important thing is to come for the awareness and the fundraiser, and to enjoy a good night out and to get educated on this disease.
Well, Gary, I appreciate you sharing your organization with us. United Standing Prostate Cancer Foundation. Is that the name of the website as well?
The website is through Wix. So again, you would have to go through our Facebook page, which is United Standing Prostate Cancer, and on the middle, on the right-hand side, there's a link to our website, and has all our information, contact information, has our board of directors listed, and any information that you would need about our organization.
Okay. So is there anything else that you want the audience to know about the foundation? If anyone wants to join or volunteer to be actively involved with the foundation, what would they have to do? What process do they have to go through?
Yes, if anyone would like to get involved, just give us a call at 919-240-1425, or email us at unitedstanding635@gmail.com, and we certainly welcome all and anyone that would like to come and help us to beat this disease.
And you also mentioned that the 3 men that will be speaking on September the 24th, each of them have had their own battle with prostate cancer.
Yes, we've the keynote speaker, he's a prostate cancer survivor, and we're going to have at least 2 to 3 guys to give their personal testimony of how they went through and overcame this disease, this cancer. And again, we're going to have Dr. Leroy Darks. he's going to have remarks and share his expertise as well on this disease.
Well, again, I want to thank Gary Wilson Sr. for coming on and sharing his foundation with us today, United Standing Prostate Cancer Foundation. You heard he have an event that's coming up September the 9th, and also the gala, which is going to be on September the 24th. So this is Prostate Awareness Month, and we want everybody to come out and support prostate cancer awareness. We know this disease is very prominent in the African American communities, and also it's, I get, at epidemic proportions because it's a silent killer. And as a silent killer, it's taking us out before men are aware that they should have had or are having that examination. So what we're asking is that you do around the age of 40, go ahead and get an examination for prostate cancer. And even after 40, at least every 3 years, get a prostate cancer examination or a screening. If you have a history of that in your family from generation to generation, you may want to start getting the examination earlier than 40, maybe starting around 35. And that's just to make you aware and to be cautious and to use preventive medicine. And you could at least beat you can't stop it from getting it, but you can stop it from killing you. So what we're going to do at this point, we're going to move in a little bit more about prostate cancer, and we're going to talk with Carolyn Green Boone. Now she's the fund advisor of the Safe Fund with Triangle Community Foundation's Awareness Action Team. Carolyn, how you doing this afternoon?
Hello, I'm doing fine, thank you. Happy to be here.
Carolyn, we're glad to have you. We want to talk to you a little bit more about your foundation and what you all are doing. So before we talk too much about the foundation, though, I do want you to kind of just share a little bit about who you are, Carolyn Green Boone, a little bit about your background and how you got involved in this work.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna put on my reading glasses because I'm in the 50+ club now. So my family background that you asked me about, that you originally saw on LinkedIn, is that I'm the great granddaughter of Thomas Day Sr., who was a famous furniture maker, a free man during slavery, who owned his own furniture business, and he was a master craftsman, and he really was the father of the North Carolina furniture industry because he had the first and the largest steam mechanized shop in North Carolina. There was an exhibit about him recently a few years ago at the North Carolina Museum of History, and I was privileged to serve on the advisory board, and I was also privileged to be able to portray his wife, my great-great-great-grandmother Aquila, on a video that was a part of the exhibit. And a depiction of him in a statue still stands in front of the museum. So
indulge me a little bit more. I want to hear a little bit more about the role that you played, and a little bit more about that.
Okay.
Just to kind of, we're going to talk about the foundation, but I want to kind of just get an idea of that history of your family. I mean, you have done some great things, but a little bit more about the play with that was your great-great-grandfather?
My great-great-great-grandfather, Thomas Day, and he was a very, very popular man, so much so that the legislature passed a resolution for him to be able to bring his wife, who was of mixed ancestry, a person of color, just like he was, over the state line from Virginia, because it was against the law for free people of color to cross state lines at that time.
So now what time frame are we talking about?
before and during slavery, the
Okay.
antebellum period.
Okay.
And also, my role on the advisory board was just to give, to meet and give general input. But towards the end, I became a little bit more of an advocate for the correct portrayal of him, because he did own slaves, but he was secretly a part of the Underground Railroad, and he was actually a slave rescuer versus a traditional slave owner. So he had a small number of quote unquote slaves that were actually his employees and lived in his protection. And in his workshop, which is the Union Tavern in Milton, North Carolina, the older people there passed down the legacy, and these are Southern white people telling this story, that he used the basement of that to hide slaves that was part of the Underground Railroad. He was an advocate of abolition. He went to an abolitionist convention in Philadelphia. There's proof that he stayed there. I pushed to get that included in the exhibit. A researcher eliminated all the other possible Thomas Days it could have been by their demographics. And he sent his children to a school up north that was owned by two radical abolitionists. So I think the evidence speaks for itself, yet I had to advocate a little assertively to make sure that some of that research got included. Now, Thomas Day's granddaughter, Annie Day, he had a son, Thomas Day Jr., and some other children. But Thomas Day Jr.'s daughter, Annie Day, ended up marrying Dr. James E. Shepard, who founded North Carolina Central University.
That's what I was trying to find out, what was that connection. So you
Yes.
just cleared that up for me. That's the connection,
Yes.
that the daughter married Dr. James E. Shepard, that actually founded North Carolina Central.
Yes, and of course I credit her with being a co-founder, because she worked very hard and
Co-founder.
sacrificed right along with him. But yes, he is the founder of North Carolina Central University. And she's the granddaughter of Thomas Day Sr. and the daughter of Thomas Day Jr.
That's a rich history there. So you're gonna come back to the show again
Yes,
and talk more about that rich history.
I'd be
that we
happy
don't-
to.
Okay.
I have an historic preservation fund, the Shepherd Alliance for Enlightenment, or the SAFE Fund, at the Triangle Community Foundation. This is a nonprofit 501c3 fund that is designed to preserve the history of people of color who made significant contributions in North Carolina. So that's one of the things I do. I'm the fund advisor for that. I'm also the vice president of the North Carolina Minority Prostate Cancer Awareness Action Team.
Okay. That's a segue into us to talk about the prostate cancer and the foundation. So can you tell us a little bit about the Minority Action Team and how that came about, how long you've been in existence, and just your role in pushing that forward?
Sure. The North Carolina Minority Prostate Cancer Awareness Action Team, which I'll be referring to as the Action Team from here on, was founded by a group of men over 25 years ago who were dialoguing about the high incidence and occurrence of prostate cancer and the ridiculously high number of African American men who were dying from that. We have a notorious history in North Carolina as having one of the highest mortality and morbidity rates due to prostate cancer among minorities. So they eventually formed this coalition. I have been on the team for about 5 years now. I have been the vice president for about 4 years, 4.5 years. And I'm privileged to be not the first female member, but the first female officer in this organization.
Okay. So not the first female member, but the first female officer.
Yes.
Actually in the foundation.
Yes.
Okay.
So what we do is
By all means.
put the spectacles on again. Our goal is to reduce the morbidity and mortality rates of men of color through awareness and advocacy. We meet monthly on second Fridays at noon at the Zeta Sigma House on Sanderford Road in Raleigh. We also sponsor a support group for prostate cancer survivors called Umoja that generally meets every fourth Friday at noon at Martin Street, I believe. But when I give you my contact information, anyone who wants to know more can feel free to contact me to get the specifics and more information. There are no prerequisites or requirements for joining the action team. We just want people who are sincerely interested in helping us to help fight prostate cancer and the horrible results that come with having prostate cancer untreated. We let's see. Our team is also unique because we have two medical doctors on it. One is a psychiatrist and a prostate cancer health advocate, Dr. James Smith, and the other is a gerontologist, Dr. Leroy Darks, associated with UNC Rex Health, and he is a prostate cancer advocate slash fanatic. He has PSA DRE on his license tag. And of course, some of this is going to be a little bit of repeat and repeat from what Gary said, because I do want to talk a little bit about the significance of that. The PSA is the prostate specific antigen blood test that a person should take every year, a man over 40. And the DRE is the digital rectal exam. A man got excited one time when I said the digital rectal exam, and he said, "Oh, if they come up with a new way," and that's the first time. That's what I thought the first time I heard it. Like, oh, they have a digital way now, but digital means digits. Okay, so they still, there's still the rectal examination, and we also so happy to have an array of professionals on the team, like the prolific educator, the retired Associate State Superintendent, Dr. Dudley Flood, and many others. So when we appear as programs, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the DRE and its importance in just a moment. But just to finish summarizing our team, we appear at programs as speakers. We man stations and set up tables at events. We distribute a lot of information on prostate cancer and talk to people about prostate cancer awareness. We do not provide medical advice or advocate for specific courses of treatments, but we do provide shepherds who are prostate cancer survivors themselves, and ambassadors who are not survivors but also well trained on prostate cancer, to meet one-on-one with people who are facing a recent diagnosis of prostate cancer or at any phase of dealing with this disease.
So you said that you all you don't give medical advice, but you do have shepherds that, what are that, like mentors that actually...
The shepherds provide one-on-one counseling and companionship for men facing prostate cancer and for their families. It's a very, very emotionally challenging disease, and it's very trying. And some of the stigmas around the diagnosis of it and the screening for it, like the digital rectal exam, also exists for the treatment. Because as Gary mentioned, sometimes when the prostate is removed or when the prostate is damaged or compromised in some way, it will, sometimes there will be incontinence, leakage of urine, and there will be erectile dysfunction in many instances where a man is unable to expediently get an erection. But there are a lot of treatments now, so there's a lot of hope now for people who are facing this, because there are a variety of ways that that situation can be dealt with. But men are traditionally known to be the leader and to be the strong one in the family. They strength and being able to stand on their own is, kind of the trademark or portrayal of a man. And that's why shepherds are so important. Also why family members are so important, why ambassadors are so important, because we provide a forum for men to talk, to let their guard down and begin to open up about the emotions and help them think through some of the decisions. And also, we strongly encourage people to establish what we call respectful assertiveness with their physicians, in any physicians in the process, and their general physician, because a lot of times people go to the doctor, they just do whatever, accept whatever's done, and then leave. And men should be aware that they should be receiving a prostate exam now. We actually advocate yearly now.
Okay.
So it's actually become yearly.
Is that after 40 or?
After 40, unless there's a history of prostate cancer in the family, then we recommend it starts earlier. And also now we're aware that a history of breast cancer in the family could be an indicator that there's a prostate cancer risk. So if a man has relatives that had breast cancer, then he might consider being screened earlier as well.
Is there direct correlation?
Well, they're just the studies are ongoing. So, and I don't want to be too technical about
Okay.
that because I'm not exactly well versed in what the specific connection is.
Right.
But there have been enough joint occurrences of people who we know that men with prostate cancer in their family history have a much higher occurrence, the likelihood of having prostate cancer.
Right.
And so now it's recently just become unveiled that there could be a link between men with women who have breast cancer in their family. And I think that's true with a lot of cancer in general, that the family occurrence. And who knows whether it's lifestyle, genetics, that type of research is ongoing. That's why organizations like Gary's and Charlie Wilson's, the singer, who are trying to raise money for research are important because ongoing research is critical. And it's also important that African Americans begin to participate in clinical trials around prostate cancer. Had a very frightening result from, I think, about 2012 when the, what is their name? I'll come up with their name in a minute.
Okay.
But one group released a finding saying that the PSA was not necessary for screening if the person wasn't showing any signs or indicators of prostate cancer. Well, what is so terrifying about this insidious disease is that its trademark is that it shows no symptoms. Nothing tends to be visible or happening that a doctor might see or a person might notice until it starts to enter its advanced phases. And then there might be pain during urination, frequent urination, incontinence, erectile dysfunction, and blood in the urine, those type of things. But usually by then it's advanced. So the other problem that I was alluding to, this was the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force in 2012. And the other thing about it is that the demographics of the people that their study was based on, I don't think, I'm going to make a disclaimer so nobody will try to come after me, that it included a lot of minorities. So we need more studies that are based on minorities, because minority men definitely need to get screened every year, and they need to get the DRE and the PSA. When the DRE is done, I want to show an example that Dr. Darks has taught us.
Okay.
So if you hold up your hand and cross your thumb over, the prostate is the size of approximately a walnut. So if a doctor's finger goes into the rectum, into the anus, and through the anus and into the rectum, and it comes right back out, he's not doing a proper examination. What you want to feel is him pressing against the prostate. And what he's feeling for is a nodule. So if you touch where the thumb is, the knuckle is right here, you feel this hard bony part. That's what a nodule might feel like among this softness of the prostate. If they feel this nodule, then that's what they're looking for. And Houston, we have a problem. Okay.
You said if they feel for that and it's hard,
Yeah,
then you do have a problem.
Right. If
You
they're
do have-
feeling the prostate, it should be soft to the touch, not necessarily rigid. And then if they feel a knot or a nodule, then can't say 100%, for sure it's cancer, but it's very likely that there's a problem.
So let me ask you this now: why is a high the probability of prostate cancer high in African American males more so than I guess the white male or any other minority in America. And you say it may be related to diet, maybe ethnicity, or what have you. But have they figured out? Are we not doing the screenings early enough?
Yes, that's one thing. And just to finish a point, the fear of over screening, it shouldn't be the focus. There have been occurrences of over treatment, people jumping to a decision quickly about what type of treatment they want to get, and going and having their prostate, finding out they have prostate cancer one week and scheduling to have their prostate removed the next week without discussing it with a team of professionals. We do recommend a multidisciplinary approach, which means a team of doctors from different areas come together and examine the patient's case versus just an oncological surgeon, or someone who is a cancer surgeon.
So let me segue. So did that sound like what you're saying is not just a second opinion, but actually a team of opinions
We recommend both.
working together?
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with the second opinion, but also that the team of physicians working together is awesome. A multidisciplinary review of the person's case before any definitive course of action is decided upon. Okay, and as far as your question about men, yes, definitely. I think nothing conclusive or factual it has been presented that I'm aware of, but the studies and research are ongoing, and we can theorize about some of these things. And one thing we know is that a lot of African American men have not been getting screened, and they have not until they become symptomatic, and they have not been getting screened on a regular basis for whatever reason, money or the stigma of the discomfort of the examination, and they are not getting screened early enough. So early detection is key. Can't guarantee survival, but it can definitely enhance one's chances.
So let me ask you this: when we talk about early screening, because if we're talking about two different things. African American black males are more likely to die from prostate cancer because they're not being screened or getting their exam early enough. But now also, that's not saying that African American males get prostate cancer any more than any other male. They just don't be screened early enough.
I'm just
or do
saying
they get it more in general anyway?
That's one small indicator. The jury is still out on
But what
the
I'm
other
saying
ones.
is, do all men in America
All men.
get prostate cancer?
Yes.
I mean, get the symptoms, I guess, about the same if we were screened at the same rate. If black men were going to the doctor just as much as white men for that early examination, then could it be stopped before it got to the point of where, okay, it's already in its late stages now?
I would say that's an accurate statement.
Okay.
Yes.
So we don't get it any more than anybody else. We just don't go to the doctor as much as anybody else.
We might.
We might.
Minorities might, and not only African Americans, but they're looking at Native Americans and high. But it could be due to the same factor. So that's why it's hard to determine without more extensive studies. But speaking of which, cancer in general and prostate cancer, I'd like to talk a little bit about the lifestyle, because we do have some indications.
Before you get into the lifestyle, let me
Okay.
get Amnon to segue on a couple questions.
And one thing should be made: a colonoscopy is not a free, jail-free thing. I mean, it's not going to find out.
That's right. I'm glad if anyone thinks that, they're unrelated, and a colonoscopy does not determine whether someone has prostate cancer. And on that note, ladies, I hate to break it to you, but I was telling the guys, I was so happy to advocate and try to make men comfortable with getting the digital rectal exams and removing the stigma from that. And then I found out that women at the age of 50 are supposed to be beginning to get an annual digital rectal exam to check their colons for colon cancer. And I was thinking, what you talking about, Willis? Okay. Stop the bus. A colorectal exam. Yes, I mean, we get the colonoscopy, but we also, are supposed to be getting the digital rectal exam on a yearly basis.
What's the difference in those two exams?
The colonoscopy is a surgical procedure where they just very simple. They numb the area, they sedate you, and they insert a tube, a laparoscopic tube, which has a camera that goes in the colon, and they look for polyps and make sure everything's okay.
What time
inside
frame
the
is that? I
colon.
mean, was that 10, 15, 20-minute procedure?
Yeah, it doesn't take long, but the fasting is what most people don't like. You have to fast, and then you have to drink these special liquids, for about 2 days out. So it's a little torturous ordeal. But if everything's normal, I don't think they make you have it more than once every 10 years. We're talking about a colonoscopy now. I think that the digital rectal exam for of the colon is supposed to be done yearly for women 50 and over. So these are the types of things. That's why it's so important to have a regular provider, a doctor that one goes to twice a year. I go twice a year, that can tell us about all these things, inform us of these tests that we need to have, when we need to have them, what we need to do in our life. My doctor advocates very much for a healthy lifestyle. The elimination of animal fats, the elimination of tobacco and alcohol abuse, regular exercise, and reduction of stress is important, which is, of course, Dr. Smith is a mental health expert. He's a psychiatrist.
Yeah, we used to work together.
Right.
For years.
Great, awesome guy. But I advocate for mental health. We need to take the stigma off of mental health treatment, just like we need to take the stigma off of prostate cancer examinations. There are some men who have died because they did not want to have the digital rectal exam. I had one young man say to me, I'd rather die than let someone stick their finger up my you-know-what. And I know last year a relative of someone at my church died because he refused treatment because he did not want to lose his virility. Well, let me tell you, man, if you're dead, you can't have sex. Okay? So, it's better to go ahead and get done whatever you need to get done according to your doctor and your team of doctors, even if it results in some form of erectile dysfunction, because not only are there more effective treatments now, but the dialogue is open, and counselors and psychologists are available not only to work with the man, but to work with the family and to work with the spouse to come up with creative ways of intimacy that can still keep that intimate bond. And a lot of the guys like to joke and the women to you and say, oh, we think it's better now, I guess because there's more focus on exploring the actual intimacy, and being creative with that once faced with erectile dysfunction and other after effects.
So is that part of the things that you all do in your workshops and seminars, and if so, is that on a monthly basis?
Okay, so as far as our team meetings, they are on a monthly basis, the second Friday at noon, and we strategize, we discuss the events that we've gone to, the events that we're going to, and we also discuss relevant issues about prostate cancer, the research, the new tests that are out. There's a urine genetics test that it doesn't replace the other tests now, so you still have to get your digital rectal exam, but it gives more of a specific indication of whether there is cancer. So that's something that's on the forefront now. It's actually being used, and we do also have educational components. We decided that we would have educational components. So if not every meeting, most meetings, we have some type of presentation that enhances our education.
So
Yes.
now, do you all go outside of the Wake County community, outside of the state of North Carolina? How wide do you all go
North Carolina.
in spreading the word? North Carolina?
All over North Carolina. Our guys, our docs have been to Clinton to workshops there. They've been to Ahoskie. We're having a big event in Rocky Mounts. Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. The September 27th?
Actually, okay, so that was Mr. Wilson's organization's event, and yes, we do partner with his organization and many others, different hospitals.
His event is on the 24th, but I
Oh.
thought you all were having an event on the 27th.
You know, I don't have my event list in front of me, but the one at
Okay.
Rocky Mount is on. I think it may have been scheduled then, and the date has been changed.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
date is now on October 15th. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there because that's NCCU's homecoming, and I represent the family in the parade, and I have to be there as a representative of the Shepherd family, so a couple of our guys won't be able to make it. But we are having our annual education event in Rocky Mount. And we wanted to use a different forum at the Impact Center, and I can get you the more information about that. If anyone wants to contact me, and I'll certainly provide it to you in case someone contacts you. It's free. It starts. It's open to the public, and they're expecting a strong showing of the men of that church and in that community. They've been there to speak to other events that church has hosted and done presentations on prostate cancer among the other presentations that were being done. And they've had, sometimes 250 men strong at their events. So it should be a really great event. I'm very excited about it, very disappointed that I won't be able to go, but I look forward to participating in our next annual event. And hopefully we're talking about doing more events in different areas. We want to go to more rural areas, and traditionally we've had our annual education event in Raleigh. We did partner with someone and have it in Winston-Salem, at Winston-Salem State once, but traditionally they've been in Raleigh, and they're very good, very well attended, very educational. People seem to enjoy them and leave enlightened and encouraged about prostate cancer advocacy. But we want to do even more workshops that we sponsor in rural areas so that we can reach those guys who are, farmers and whoever, mechanics, whoever is living in those rural areas that aren't really aware of or prone to get in their car and drive to Raleigh to a major conference that we may have.
Let me ask, now, are you all one of the biggest, I guess, organizations for prostate cancer in this area, and I guess in the Triangle?
Well, I don't know about the biggest. We're the best.
Y'all the
But
best. I mean, well, because you've been around for about 20 years.
yeah, we probably.
So I know you've probably grown over those 20 years, and like I said, you don't just be the best, so you have to be doing outstanding work in the
Thank
community.
you.
And
We do a lot of outreach. We don't push. We want to encourage membership, but we don't push for high numbers. We want quality versus quantity, and we want folk who are on the team that are ready to work and participate and play various roles in our events and on our team. So we have a great team of officers.
So
Yes.
now, how would we? I know you said earlier that you don't have to you don't have to do anything special to become a volunteer and sign up to be a part of. But actually, how do you? Any male that want to, or any man or woman that wants to be a part of it, how do they plug into it?
Just come, contact me. I'll give you the information. I can give you contact information for Jim Smith. Unfortunately, we have a new website, and bad vice president, I don't have the address with me. So we'll, get that to you if you contact me. I'll definitely be happy to give you our web address for our new website. Very excited about that. Dr. Smith helped set that up, and I've been wanting one for a long time, so I'm a little disappointed I don't have the actual web address with me, but I promise you I will provide it. And we've been in service, yes, for a long time, and done a lot of momentous work in terms of prostate cancer health advocacy and now general health advocacy, and also giving out actual information, directing people to physicians and clinics. We get a lot of our information from like the American Cancer Society. They're really, really great about giving out free information. We have some partnerships. Rex has some information that they give out, and we have our own brochure. We have Church Fans, which our president is a big, huge fan of the Church Fans. So we have our prostate cancer, awareness, our action team Church Fans, and we have our we give out these blue prostate cancer ribbons that I'm wearing a shirt kind of the similar color, and we also give out these gold walnuts. I know it's a little bit hard to see from here, but I just handed one to Gary on the way up to sit down. These are actually little gold walnuts, but the prostate looks very much like a walnut. So we use these for our little prostates, our golden prostates, and we give these out to survivors, and anyone can wear the blue ribbon, to represent prostate cancer.
Good deal. Carla, listen, I appreciate you coming this evening, and also about you sharing a little bit about your background, your family background, and
Thank you.
the Minority Prostate Cancer Awareness Action Team. Triangle Community Foundation and the North Carolina Minority Prostate Cancer Awareness Action Team. Now, one organization
Two
or
different
two?
things. Two different things. The
Break that
Triangle
down for me real
Community
quick.
Foundation is related to my historic preservation fund, the SAFE fund. The
Okay.
Shepherd Alliance for Enlightenment is part of the Triangle Community Foundation. They house a number of funds that some are non-specified, but most of them have a stated mission, like mine is historic
Okay.
preservation of people of color. And so they have one for felines there, and cat organizations and all kinds of sending kids to camp. So Triangle Community Foundation is great. It's based in Durham on the American Tobacco campus. And I would be excited to get us together one day and see if we can get some health related fund at the Triangle Community Foundation to give some funding to us to help us continue our work. Okay.
All right. So now the North Carolina Minority Prostate Cancer Awareness Action Team, two different organizations.
Okay. Yes.
Any work done that they do together, or
Well,
one is on your left and one is on your right, and you don't let the two intersect?
oh yeah, I don't. It's hard for me because I need to raise money for my historic preservation fund, but I've been helping to come up with ideas and try to round up some. I'm actually working on a donor right now so he can give us some money to get some promotional products to give out. But yeah, so I actually raise money for both causes, and I do them separately, but I devote a lot of time to each.
Well, listen, again, I appreciate you coming. I want you to come back anytime you're welcome. Hopefully, you'll be back in December.
Yes.
And we can talk more about the Triangle Community Foundation. I want to know more about that too.
Okay.
But also, again, any information that you have about the prostate cancer awareness,
Sure.
feel free to share that, bring it back, email me so we
Okay.
can get that information out.
So do you want my contact information before we sign
We
off?
definitely
Okay.
do.
My email address is thesafefund@aol.com. That's my personal email address. THESAFE, like a safe and secure or a money safe fund, like a money fund. So thesafefund@aol.com. I'm also on LinkedIn under Carolyn Green Boone. And I'd be happy to hear from you and happy to communicate with you and get you whatever information and assistance I can and answer any questions.
All right. Well, Carolyn and also Gary, I want to thank both of you for coming today, sharing the information about your foundation. Hopefully, we've gotten that out, and we'll get responses to more people volunteering and joining in. And but the information have been, I guess, is actually life changing if we actually apply that to our daily lives. So I hope the viewers also take this information and share it with their loved ones, so we can just make sure we're getting the word out. We're saving lives. I want to thank you all for tuning in this evening. We'll be back next Tuesday, same time, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Feel free to email me at tperry5000@gmail.com if you want to be on the show, or if you have a mission, cause, and purpose you want to bring to the show. If you want to bring it to awareness, feel free to contact me. Or you can also go on NissanCommunications.com and contact us that way. You all have a great week. Look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. God bless.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, My Life, My Will with Gisela DiCarlo, The Tanya Love Show, Health Then with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Triangle Be Well with Howard Jacobson, Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Yisrael Cutler, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Current Affairs with Amnon Nissan. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.